Flood Center and IIHR was fortunate to be, part of the team that helped to create this proposal. And in doing so, and in having the experience from running the previous HUD project, we knew what the needs were. We needed money for conservation. We needed technical design assistance. We needed project coordinators. We needed the monitoring and the modeling and the other outreach services that we provide. So when we saw, how all those elements could fit together, wrote a compelling story for HUD, and then ended up with a successful proposal. Yeah, so it is really interesting, especially since this competition was born out of Superstorm Sandy. The largest recipient was the state of New York, followed by Virginia, and then New Orleans, which has been impacted by every landfall and Gulf Coast hurricane, over the last, decades. Iowa was fourth behind those, disaster-prone areas. So it really spoke to how well the partnership was, how sound the approach is, how great the ideas are. So really excited for the state of Iowa. Yeah, and so it is this kind of great partnership between the public and private sectors. And, with the federal and state agencies, they have a jurisdiction and they have an authority. And so they all work within their authority to contribute to the program. But we've got the private sector involved through design consultants, engineering services, technical assistance. And what I was really pleased with in today's meeting were the number of landowners that were here. And so there's interest. We know that there's interest in landowners wanting to, make their waters, better. And to have that number of landowners here interested in the program, already thinking about practices that they might want to enroll on their property, that's exciting. In addition, which is really interesting for HUD, is that we have 25% local support on these practices. So think about going to a coastal area and they're going to build a seawall. They don't ask the residents behind that seawall to commit 25% of the funding. Yet here, we're building practices on private lands for public benefit, and we're getting that landowner to cover 25% of the cost. Well, I think one of the other things that's been so important to this program is, the leadership and the commitment that the state legislature showed, to the creation of the Iowa Flood Center and to funding other water-related activities in the state. Without that commitment, we wouldn't have had the leverage that we have, and we wouldn't have been successful like we were.